but like, what's the physical thing you do or have done to help you get out of your own way, or sort of just realize, even if just temporarily, that like I'm bigger than my limiting beliefs or like limiting thoughts and stuff like that? Like, what's your exercise that you have done or do, if any?
Read. Definitely read, being mindful of what I'm reading. So one of those books that I would highly recommend. Sir would actually agree with me. The Four Agreements. If y'all haven't read the Four Agreements, I would definitely recommend it. And just to break them down, if you don't know, the first one would be don't take things personally. The second one would be don't make assumptions. The third one would be impeccable with your word. And the fourth one would be do your absolute best. And those agreements changed my life. I literally just went into a Barnes & Nobles, was just trying to charge my phone, but I randomly went over to the self-help section of the Barnes & Nobles and just reached out and grabbed the book. And the first book that was there was The Four Agreements. And just by reading the first introduction leading into the first chapter, like you said, like we all got our ebbs and flows. So one of the things that I had my ebb and flow about was reading. And it's just because it's not that we don't like to read. It's just that what you're reading does not connect with your spirit. And if it doesn't connect with your spirit, you're not going to feel guided to continue to read it. Or you might have just had to get something out of the book that you read, and then that's it, and then you take a moment and come back to it. But I feel like that was the first book that when I read that first introduction led me to the first chapter, and I was like, I was going through so many emotions in the Barnes & Nobles. I was angry because I was like, wow, this is how the world is. But then I was sad because I was like, the book understands me. Like I was going through, and I was like, wow, like this is actually like something that's helping me towards my journey. So I would definitely recommend like reading anything that helps you give your mind clarity, because there's just a lot of things in this mind. And as I said earlier, that I'm recognizing that as a spirit, I'm borrowing this body, I'm borrowing this mind. So they have their own constructs with them, but they're all in one. So I just have to acknowledge how I can help maneuver everything working together in unison.
Are there any other books that you've read that you would recommend? Or, because we live in, the digital age, if there's not a book, who inspires you? Meaning, like, what podcast or what YouTube video, like what who are your teachers?
Wow. So to answer the first question, yes, The Four Agreements is the book that I would recommend to everybody, to every single person. If I meet you now or when I'm turning over and transitioning, that's still gonna be the same book, because that John just, the principles of it follow in so many aspects of our life. Like, I don't know if I should go into it a little more, but like the don't take things personally really helped me, because I just had to realize that like when people project certain things onto you, it's just a reflection of themselves. So it's not something that I really need to take personally, because they're experiencing something in their life that they may not know how to communicate. And because of that communication that's directed towards me, it seemed like it's about me, but it's not about me. It's about them. So that helped me detach. Don't make assumptions, because I don't need to create an illusion that's not there. Like, fear is an assumption, because it's false evidence appearing real. So the way I would conquer it is face everything and rise. I'm facing it because I'm facing the illusion. That is what I'm telling myself. I'm assuming something that I didn't actually get the answer to. And then being impeccable with my word, that led me to become who I am today, because I'm very honest, I'm very transparent, I'm very vulnerable. So I can't help but speak my truth. I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to defend. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to protect. And when I'm thinking about who I am as a being, I'm allowing someone else to be just as open too. So I'm being impeccable with my word, so I can follow what I'm putting out into the world. Like if I say I'm going to be somewhere, or if I show an event, I'm not just showing the event to promote the event. I'm showing the space because I know it's a safe space for healing, and I'm going to be there. I'm not going to show nothing that I'm not going to be at. Doing your absolute best, because that's all we can do. Like what that video Mariah Carey said, I'm gonna do the best for what I got. Like, like I think that's the energy we need to keep, because when we're in a capacity of love, you're loving for how you can love right now. And when you're doing your best, you're doing your best for what you have to do right now. So yeah, that's definitely the reason why I would recommend that book.